Steam can be a place full of love and hatred, but this video is going to be more on hatred. So there's some amazing story games out there, like God of War, Last of Us, and Red Dead Redemption 2. But some of these games are hated on Steam, and I'm going to be putting besides the PC ports because, those crash a lot, and the PC ports for these games do suck. So I'm going to be looking at some of the honestly bad reviews from people who honestly do not like the game. While I was reading some of these reviews earlier, I honestly thought that these people were not thinking while writing this because some of these reviews, mostly including the Red Dead Redemption 2 one, makes no sense. So let's just see what we got here. And if you like this video or videos like this, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. And let's just see what we got. Okay, so first we're gonna be looking at Red Dead Redemption 2 reviews, and immediately it's the second review. And I don't get this at all because it just doesn't make sense. This person says, quote, good, but too linear, and there's a horse autopilot system that can get you killed too much. First of all, I'm just gonna say, what do you mean, linear? This game isn't a linear game. This game is considered one of the best open world games of all time. When it comes to linear, Red Dead Redemption 2 is far from it. The amount of detail and immersiveness in this game is far from linear. So I'm just gonna say that that's definitely wrong. This game is not linear. Maybe you don't know the meaning of linear. Another, and it also says the horse autopilot system can get you killed too much. That's never happened to me personally, but that's just something you can just turn off in the settings. So I don't get that. This should honestly be a crime for saying this because it makes no sense. The amount of cringe that this is insane. I'm just kidding, but I don't get it because I don't know. It just makes me upset that someone would say linear because this is not linear. If you're talking about The Last of Us, okay, maybe I would agree. The Last of Us is very linear, but this game is not linear. At least you admit that it's good, so. Okay, Shane said, and these are very old reviews too, so I guess this is when the PC port was released, I'm guessing. When the game was released. This person says the overall open world events become very boring after some time, and the tasks make up 40% of the game, and whilst there are plenty of activities, these are also very basic. You cannot tell me that poker is basic. Okay, I'm just kidding. Poker is basic. But a lot of the side missions in this game aren't basic. Are you saying like going around and catching bounties and killing people is basic? Because if that's what you're saying, that's kind of boring. If you think that's basic. Um, so they say that's very basic, and they achieve, and a lot of the stuff you do in the game achieves nothing. Dude, as Arthur Morgan, you achieve. Arthur Morgan goes through a lot of mood changes throughout the game. Bro, you go through this whole entire like water. I don't even know what to call it. Water slide of just emotions through this game of trying to get Arthur's goals achieved by what he is as a man. I'm guessing he didn't really play the full game, but he also says the controls are outright terrible, which this game has some of the best, in my opinion at least. This game has some of the best and realistic movement in video gaming history, and this just like this pisses me off because if you enjoy running around and doing this pointless crap, at this point I'm thinking this is rage baiting because it just does not make sense. I am also going to disagree with the statement that the story missions are mostly very boring. How does that make sense? I can name a lot of good missions from Red Dead. Probably not the name of the missions, but dude, you get stranded out on an island in Guam, whatever the island's called. You have to escape the island by killing its overrun government. You rob multiple banks in this game. You rob trains. You become a good man towards the end of the game, depending on what your honor is. It's saying like you don't have that many choices of how you play them. I mean, you do. You get to decide what Arthur are you playing? Are you playing bad man Arthur? Are you playing the villain Arthur? Are you playing the good Arthur? Like, it's just insane how this statement it again makes no sense, dude. Almost not every there are I can admit that there are some pretty boring missions in Red Dead 2, Like mostly the going out to make the missions where I don't remember his name, who go out and make you get um make go out and confront the people for the debt they haven't paid off yet to the gang. Those were pretty boring, to admit. But saying this, all the story missions are not boring. There are some intense, when I say intense, I mean intense, action-packed, adventure, emotion-filled missions in this game. And not even mentioning the last mission, which is probably the most emotional mission in video gaming history. So I don't get this statement. The missions are very boring, because that makes no sense. This game has some of the best missions and storytelling ever. Alright, let's move on to the next game. Okay, so if you don't know me, and if you do know me, you know I love The Last of Us. It's up there in my top 3 favorite games of all time. Probably my favorite game, besides Red Dead 2. This game is amazing, the story is amazing, everything about it is just peak. And so, let's look at this review. Crammy Boy said, awful gameplay for an okay story. I really don't get the hype for this game. Enemies spawn from nowhere. First of all, this is a linear game. I don't understand how enemies just spawn like it's like a Survivor type of game. Like it's a Survivor IO game. Not it's not like a wave game. I don't get that. I honestly never experienced this. I have 30 hours on here, maybe 40 actually. Let me check. It's basically Nathan Drake without the climbing or puzzles or fun, just basic stealth and minimal gameplay. Okay, so for the basic stealth part, I'll agree. The stealth isn't that enhanced as like games like Assassin's Creed, but it's still good stealth. Also, he says every area is just more of the winding stealth or forced combat with a basic story. And this is where I get a little crazy. I don't get how it's a basic story. I don't know if I have to explain why it's a basic story. I mean, how it's not a basic story. This probably is one of the most intense stories in gaming history again, like Red Dead. Dude, you play as Joel Miller, right? Joel Miller, you lost your daughter, right? And you wear your daughter's watch. I mean, there's so much symbolism in this game, and you have to protect Ellie, and you have to make. I'm not gonna try to spoil it, but you have to make all these crazy. I wouldn't say choices, but there's crazy things that Joel does to protect Ellie. I'll just say that, and I wouldn't say the mentality behind it is basic. And also, I can kind of understand where this guy's review is coming from, seeing how he only played for 10 hours. So, no offense, but don't play a game for 10 hours and make a review like this. So, I know I said I was going to do God of War 2 review, but I've been getting into Ghost of Tsushima recently, and this is an amazing game. I love it so much. If you haven't played it yet, please, for the love of God, go play that game. It is amazing. So, I found this review by someone named Muscle Pig saying, I'm not even gonna read the first thing because I kind of agree with it being repetitive, but this person says the story and characters are, at least for me, were highly forgettable. First of all, first of all, let's not talk about Taka. And here's a spoiler warning, so you can skip 3, 2, 1. Okay, Taka, dude, that was one of the most saddest deaths I've ever had. He tried to come help Jin, and even though he wasn't a fighter, he still tried to help Jin. And Yuma's reaction to that death was insane. It's something I cannot forget. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget, because they were probably one of the 2 most influential characters in this game. I think everything in this game was made well, perfectly. And so he also says, if you played this game 100 times, if you take a step back, you've played this game 100 times before. So he says it's repetitive, which I can agree with, because it's one of those games where you just go back and forth with, going, killing the bad guys, go back, finish that mission, go kill the bad guys. But there are a lot of missions in this game that aren't just that. It does have a good pacing for the story, but I don't know why he's complaining about it having a big map. It's not a good thing. So I'm gonna give this guy respects because he does say at the end it's not a bad game, and No Bean's a bad game. Maybe it's just not a game for him. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to this person who made this review for recommended. This guy said, feels like a game made before microtransactions. And I have to say, I 100% agree with that. It is. It's perfect. No microtransactions in this game. It's amazing. This game should lead how other games in this today's age should be doing. Because every game these days have microtransactions, microtransactions. We don't talk about Ubisoft. Maybe I'll make another video on that. Um, someone else said best Assassin's Creed game ever. That's amazing. Another person said this is the best Assassin's Creed game ever. This game has everything Ubisoft should learn from. Ubisoft, take it from Ghost of Tsushima. Make your game like Ghost of Tsushima. Your games, honestly, right now, Mirage, Odyssey, well, Origins was okay. Mirage, Odyssey, Origins, Valhalla, I'm gonna be complete straight up, they sucked. They all sucked. They had barely any story. If you wanna play a repetitive game, play Far Cry and the new gen Assassin's Creeds. That is the most boring repetitive crap you ever play in your lifetime. It is honestly not fun, and they should make their games more like Ghost of Tsushima. A lot of people say Ghost of Tsushima is an Assassin's Creed copy, but I think it's a new generation of games that are kind of like Assassin's Creed. I think Ghost of Tsushima is the new Assassin's Creed and should be definitely more loved over the new gen Assassin's Creed game. So let's move away from all that negativity and let's just look at some funny Red Dead reviews I found. Someone with 100 hours said the balls on your horse shrink in the winter. And I have to fact check that because if that's true, that's hilarious. They do. Someone said they do. That means it's right. Someone said it's GTA with less traffic and your vehicles only have 1 horsepower. I mean, like, I'm not a car nerd, but 1 horsepower does not seem good. Someone said this. Better than love. I have never had love. Someone said, I like the part with the other guy. 700 hours. You know, I do too. Lumbago. Lumbago! Not recommended. Can't pet cats. Extremely devastated. 174 hours. My horse stepped on a bee. 90 hours on record. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It helps me going. And I'm gonna continue to try to get better every single time I make a new video. Every video is gonna get better, better. With just practice comes perfect, like people say. If you like this video, subscribe. And that's really about all I got. See ya.